When it comes to growing spinach and lettuces, there's a little trick to help prolong the life to allow them to grow further into the summer months without going to seed or bolting. We're on the back side of a large garden where it gets partial shade in the afternoon. As you can see, the shade is beginning to work across the bed. Sun comes up in the east, sets in the west, and it gets morning sun, about 4 to 6 hours, and then the afternoon sun. As the summer progresses, it gets shadier and shadier, and it actually cools down back here. So what we're going to do is, by planting in partial shade, the plants will believe that the days are still not getting as long as they really realistically are during the prolonged sunlight, which will allow the plants to grow a little bit longer without going to seed. Plants go to seed not because it gets warm outside, but because it notices, the plant senses the day life is getting longer, and since it puts a seed pod on to generate reproduction of seeds for future growths of the plant. So this bed is about 4 foot wide here and about 10 foot long, 40 square feet. We're going to do about the first 5 square feet of lettuce, which would be here, and then we're going to wait a week, plant another 4 or 5 square feet and another 4 or 5 square feet. The key to growing lettuce, and this is called succession planting. Plant a little bit, wait, plant a little bit. So you don't have 20 square feet of lettuce coming in all at one time, because unless you have a family of 25, you're not going to be able to consume that much lettuce. In addition, a key to growing lettuce and spinach is plant a little lettuce, get a lot of lettuce. Plant a lot of spinach, get a little bit of spinach. Spinach plants produce leaves, and from experience, you're going to have to plant a lot of spinach to get an adequate amount for a lunch or a meal. Plant a little bit of lettuce, you're going to get a prolific amount of lettuce, which will sustain you for a good amount of time. So that's why we're going to succession plant. With the lettuce, we're just going to, we've covered the bed here with a little bit of Sioux certified leaf compost. We're just going to do about half, and we're going to split this right here, which it may not be quite 5 square feet, more like 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, it's about 5 square feet. We're going to do a little bit of mix of bronze, lettuce, and a gourmet mix. Now, there's no wonderful, easy, magical technique to planting here. All we're going to do is we made sure this bed was about as weed-free as possible. 2 weeks ago, I brought in and put some coffee grounds in here, and I incorporated into the bed. So what we're going to work on is, I'm just going to take a little bit here in my hands, and I'm just going to broadcast it. Now, ideal temperature for lettuce, soil temperature, is 40 to 80 degrees. You want to be more on the cooler side than the warmer side. Below 35 degrees, these seeds are not going to germinate. It will take the lettuce about 50 days to reach maturity. So that's going to push you, based on when you plant it, kind of more in the early summer months. Okay, I've broadcasted them seeds. I'm just going to take these seeds here and do the same thing. Nothing special. You could spend tedious hours spacing these all beautifully. You can also get transplants or have started them and space them out that way. I'm just going to take my fork and just gently cover the soil. Even though the soil is a little moist, we're still going to come in here and wet this down just to make sure everything gets seeded very nicely. Then next week we'll come in and I'll do another 5 square feet, and then another 5 feet in 2 weeks. So now let's go down and talk about planting spinach. So we're going to plant spinach here. We're going to do the portion here, which would be 20 square feet approximately on this. So I've just got this 2x4. We use it to mark different items. I've got in increments of feet and offset 3 inches. All I'm really going to do is use it kind of lean on, so I'm not compressing the soil, and I'm going to use the edge to plant. As we've seen with the lettuce, I just broadcasted it. Really didn't matter to me with the lettuce there. With the spinach, I'm going to do it in rows and try to space it about every 2 to 3 inches so I can get an adequate growth here, because it's going to be a little more, these seeds are a little different. These look more like a brassica seed, a broccoli, cauliflower, kale. They're more of a round seed. Lettuce seeds are very airy, fluffy, light. So I'm just going to take and make rows here every 3 inches here. Nothing special. You could start these indoors, but with a lot of these cool weather crops, in the instance of lettuce and spinach, it's just much easier to get them out in the garden early in the season and plant them direct sow. Now this is the Broaddale long stand spinach from Dollar Seed. Just going to take all of them. Use my board. I'm not going to really use it as a marker. I'm use it as a kneeler. And I'm just going to go every about 2 inches. Try to space them here. Now, you can pre-soak these spinach seeds for 20 minutes, and that will greatly enhance the speed up of germination. These will take 14 to 21 days to germinate. You're looking at soil temperature between 40 and 75 degrees. Anything above 80 degrees, these things are not, it's not going to go. You don't want to plant spinach anything above 80 because it's cool weather crop. These will bolt when the days get longer, and again we're planting in partial shade, and 35 degrees is the minimal. They will grow when it's 35 degrees, the soil temperature, but your optimal temperatures is at 40 to 80 degree soil temperature. All right, so I got them all planted. I finished the row out here. 40 days for these to reach maturity. The lettuce would take about 50 days. And that'll be it. You can also do this type of planting later in the fall, so you can get a fall crop if you based your days out. Both of these can handle a light frost, so keep that in mind. We're just going to go ahead and cover these up, and then we'll douse them with a nice little water, even though the soil is moist. But don't be discouraged if you don't see anything for a while, because these will take, again, 14, 21 days to germinate, and then you'll be able to harvest these. It's a cut and come again for both of these. You'll be able to harvest them, then they'll be put on more growth up to the point where they begin to bolt. So mulching, not really an issue here because of the way we've planted it, but these both could also be done in containers.
For more information, please visit thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com.